It is 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. You've been working since 7 a.m. You've answered 100 emails, you've put out 5 fires, and you've barely had time to eat. On paper, you're crushing it. But as you sit there in the glow of your laptop, you have this sinking feeling that you're actually failing. You're working 60 hours a week, but the big projects are stalled. Your team is waiting on you for answers, and you feel more like a high-paid assistant than a CEO. So why does it feel like the harder you work, the further away the easy breezy life gets? I'm going to tell you the answer. The answer is, it is because you are doing everyone's job except the one you were actually hired for, or at least the one you hired yourself for. I'm going to explain. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Lisa Sabala, and for 20 years, I've been the secret weapon in the back offices of growing companies, watching exactly how startup CEOs accidentally sabotage their growth. As the founder of 8.8 Virtual Assistant Team and Avenue Funnels, I've lived the operational friction of scaling alongside hundreds of new CEOs. And I moved them from the brink of total burnout to the moment where their business finally runs and thrives without them. This is the Easy Breezy Boss Life podcast, and today we are talking about the 4 pillars you need to master to stop being a 60-hour-a-week employee and start being a true leader. Yes, it is very, very possible. The truth is, most founders are addicted to the hustle. We've been told that sweat equity is the only way to win. But after 20 years of seeing what actually works under the hood of successful companies, I can tell you, your value isn't in your labor, it is in your leadership. You need to ask yourself, can you actually lead your business to thrive? So to get your life back and your time freedom back, you have to fire yourself from the busy work and focus on these 4 pillars. Because you're a leader, you're not supposed to be on ground work. You should be leading. Okay, so I'm going to explain the 4 pillars now. Pillar number 1, set the coordinates and steer the ship. Think of your business as a ship. If you spend all your time down in the galley cooking or in the engine room shoveling coal, are there still coal ships? Anyway, if you're doing that, who is on the bridge looking at the horizon? You're supposed to be the captain, right? And if you don't have a clear destination, no amount of hard work from your team will save you. Unfortunately, I have seen CEOs who act as geniuses with 1,000 helpers. They keep the strategy locked in their heads, and then they wonder why their team is constantly bothering them with questions. If your team has to call you for every small hurdle, it's because you haven't given them the GPS coordinates. And a real CEO documents the vision into an operations playbook. You set the course, you define what a win looks like, and then you let the team navigate. That's how it's supposed to work. If you turned off your phone for 48 hours right now, would your business keep moving towards the goal? And if the answer is no, you're not steering, you're just rowing. Let's go to pillar number 2, protect the house. And when I say that, I mean the money engine, okay? So as leaders of our business, of our companies, cash flow is the oxygen of the business. As the CEO, you are the guardian of the treasury. But I see so many founders get this twisted because they spend their time acting like an accountant, stressing over every item instead of building a system for revenue, a repeatable system that gets sales and gets revenue. You need a cycle that makes it, grows it, and keeps it. Because if you are the only one who can close a deal, you don't have a business. You have a job. You're a salesperson. This is one of the reasons why I built Avenue Funnels, because a CEO shouldn't be a salesperson stuck in the grind of cold calls. A CEO should be the owner of a sales engine. It should run on its own. And the job is to ensure that that engine is fueled and protected so that the revenue becomes predictable. And you don't launch yourself into a weekly panic attack that requires another 10 hours of your personal time. Now let's go to pillar number 3. Guard the company energy. This is where culture is built. This is the pillar that most founders ignore until it's too late. As the CEO, you are the chief energy officer. Did you know that? CEO can also translate to being the chief energy officer. If you are working 60 hours a week, you are likely exhausted, reactive, and probably a little bit short with your team. You're snappish. And here's the kicker. Burnout is contagious. And I've seen this unfold again and again. Burnout is contagious. If you are stressed, your team will feel it, and they start walking on eggshells. They stop bringing you new ideas because they don't want to add to your plate. I bet that's not what you want. You want to give your team a safe space to innovate, to be creative. And if you're exhausted all the time, that space will never be created. Your exhaustion becomes the ceiling for your entire company's performance. And your job is to protect the zone of genius of each team member under you. And this happens if the CEO spends their energy on rank tasks. And if you're doing that, you are draining the very battery that you need for your $1,000 an hour strategy. You have to stay in a headspace where you can lead with clarity and not just react to the latest fire. Okay? Now, this brings me to pillar number 4, build the right team. So for you to do pillars 1, 2, and 3, you need pillar number 4. You need to build the right team. This is a great unlock. It's going to be a game changer if you have the right people under you. This is where the 60-hour work week goes to die. This is where we can slay the burnout monster. Your entire job is to find people who are better than you at the how, okay? So you can stay focused on the why. There's this powerful quote by Theodore Roosevelt that I want you to remember. He said that the best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it, right? You pick good people to do their jobs and then you stay out of the way. That's how you can be an easy breezy boss. The keyword there is self-restraint. If you've hired an elite team, your job is to give them the resources and then trust the talent that you paid for. And if you're still meddling in every graphic design choice or every email draft, you are not a CEO. You're an obstruction. As a virtual assistant and consultant and funnel builder, I've spent my career showing founders that the best investment they will ever make is not in a new piece of software. It is in people. It's not even in AI. It's in people. When you stop trying to be the everything person and you bring in an instant team, a team that already has the specialists, the managers, and the systems in place, the 60-hour work week disappears. You move from being the person who does the work to the person who owns the result. Hiring a team is not an expense. Well, it is technically an expense because you're putting out money, but it is an overhead cost for your success. It is the literal key to the freedom you went into business for in the first place. So after you watch this video and you're still feeling like a failure today, despite all those hours that you're putting in to build your business, I want you to look at your to-do list, okay? If a task doesn't fall under vision, money, energy, or team, which is the 4 pillars, cross it off, okay? You didn't start this business to be a slave to an inbox. You're not supposed to do that. You started it to build something meaningful and to leave a legacy of your company. So stop being the worker bee and start being the architect. Build a team, protect the cash, and guard the team's energy. This is where you can then effectively steer the ship. So just in case you need an instant team to handle your operations, 8.8 is the key to getting your time back. And in case you also need smart leads with 0 cold calls, Avenue Funnels is the engine that finds your next high-level client while you work. And of course, if you want the easy breezy boss life, watch this next video. I'm Lisa Sabala, and I'll see you in the next one.